Alright, welcome back to the channel. So today I wanted to take you guys with me and give you an in-depth look at how I create my YouTube videos. And more specifically, I wanted to show you what my creative process looks like, and also give you a behind-the-scenes look of the filmmaking techniques that I use whenever I'm out shooting. So the goal for today is going to be, we're going to create a short cinematic sequence where we're going to use a bunch of camera movement that is going to focus on my headphones and kind of show you what my everyday routine sort of looks like. And this was what we came up with. So right now we're at my friend's office just setting up for the first couple clips. We're going to do a little cinematic sequence with a lot of movement, maybe probably some gimbal work, and kind of put everything together in post. So we'll see what we can come up with. We'll try to do something super creative, and also hopefully one day this will be the goal. Okay, so let's get started. Now, the first step in making a short cinematic sequence like this is to just have a shot list. This is one of the most important habits you can have as a filmmaker. It's to know what you're going to shoot before you shoot it. The way I do this is to create a very simple list beforehand. I don't want to make it too complicated or specific because I like to leave room for the creative process. When you're out shooting, you may see something that you want to change up, or there might be a different angle that you didn't really consider before. Be intentional, but creatively flexible at the same time, and just have fun with it.
3, 2, 1. That was it. We got it.
Okay, so let's do this count down that same thing.
Yo, welcome to Deutsch channel. Let's go.
So this is the first shot, the rating scene.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Do it again.
Again?
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Right.
It's good?
Cool.
Alright, cool. That was easy.
Quick shots.
Okay, so for the second shot, we wanted to continue the upward head movement from writing into a similar motion of drinking coffee. This way, it makes the transition a lot more seamless and appear natural when we switch scenes. Now, the third shot is a lot simpler. I didn't want to have my head moving all over the place in every scene, so in order to create balance, we used the stationary shot of me driving in the car. This also creates natural movement in the background, which adds a nice touch and also sets up our next scene in the forest. Okay, so right now we're working on a vlogging shot. It's not really going according to his plan because Brian's kind of following my headphones as I curve around a path. So the camera, it needs to maintain focus on my ear while still moving and curving around the bend at the same time. So we're having a little issues getting this shot, but we're just going to keep trying until we get it done. Next is shot 5 and 6. These were the final two shots that we needed in the forest. Shot 5 was fairly simple. It was just a basic shot of me walking, then taking a step up onto a rock. Shot 6, on the other hand, was the most difficult and complicated scene for this video. There was a lot going on at the same time, which can cause you a lot of problems. The plan was to take a diagonal path towards a fallen tree, then crouch down under it, moving towards Brian as he stepped backwards, and finally walking out of the scene behind a tall tree, which was used as a masking transition. If you guys would like to see an in-depth tutorial on how Brian edits these transitions, I'll leave some links in the description below to his channel. Definitely check it out, especially if any of you guys edit with Final Cut Pro on a Mac. Okay, so this was a tree shot that we just finished up shooting. Now the idea was to have the camera track the headphones above the tree here and then kind of follow it as I bent down and went under through here. So hopefully this clip turned out pretty good. It was very difficult to shoot, but it was a lot of fun. So now that we got the masking transition done, let's move on to shots 7, 8, and 9. For these shots, we wanted to transition from a slower, relaxed pace in the forest to a more upbeat, energetic environment with a lot of physical movement. We found a track that had some of those track hurdles, I guess that's what you call them, but this felt like a great scene to continue our left to right movement from the falling tree transition.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
You always need to remember what type of movement and from what direction you left off from. That way you know how to properly start the next shot without it turning out too clunky. After the jump, we continued with the same left to right motion, but this time reducing my speed to a jog. We are creating the illusion of me slowing down, which should transition well into the next scene of push-ups.
Don't put that in the vlog, bro.
For this shot, Brian ditched the gimbal and did this handheld. It was a lot easier to track my headphones this way since the movement was very fast-paced and close to the ground.
3,
Don't be
2,
afraid to
1,
try
go.
some shots handheld as it may be more practical for certain situations.
3 more.
That's good.
So my name is Brian Bolt. I'm gonna run the 100-meter dash in 7 seconds. Watch this.
I have no idea what you said. I can't hear anything. Okay, so after Brian Bolt set a world record for the 100-meter dash, I wanted to carry on the same vertical movement of my push-ups with something similar for my drone. Again, we are trying to stay consistent with our direction of motion. These details seem very slight, but the more continuity your clips have, the better your final result will be.
What kind of dance is this? New TikTok dance?
I'm getting dizzy, bro.
What's this TikTok dance called?
It's called drone calibration.
Everybody do the drone calibration.
I'm all dizzy. Once I finished my new TikTok dance, the plan for shot number 10 was to combine 3 vertical movements into one short scene. My body standing up, my head looking up, and the drone flying up. We did run into some issues shooting during midday as there were literally 0 clouds in the sky, so a lot of our footage was blown out and overexposed. Okay, so we just finished up shooting the drone shot that we just did from this little platform area right here. And the idea was to track my headphones vertically as the drone kind of went up in the air. So I think we got the shot. It turned out pretty good. It was a little difficult because everything is so overexposed because of the sunlight. So right now we're going to finish up over here and head on to the next scene in the city. So shot number 11 and 12 were fairly straightforward. We used the same head movement from the first 2 shots and combined them to create a transition from sitting at the track to sitting in the city. Next, I wanted to incorporate a super wide-angled shot into the edit. Usually you do this at the beginning of your video to establish a certain location. However, I felt like the edit was lacking a simple punch-in effect.
3, 2, 1.
So we recorded the same shot twice with 2 different focal lengths. This way we were able to retain the 4K video quality without having to zoom in during the editing process. Once that was done, all that was left was to find one more spot to shoot for our final transition. Alright, so we're in the city right now, looking for kind of a more of an urban city vibe for our last shot. Oh man, there's like a bunch of motorcycles. Okay, so it's super noisy. So right now we're looking for some cool scenery that has more of a city vibe that we can use. So far, haven't had any luck yet. There's just a bunch of big buildings. But we'll find something. To be honest, we weren't able to find anything super interesting, so we settled for a simple street photography shot in front of a giant building, which easily transitioned to our final shot of me back at the office, sitting down at the end of the day to read a book.
Make sure. 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, sick. There you got it.
So that's pretty much it. Here's the final edit one more time, and I'll see you guys next week.